Everybody, thank you so much for coming and supporting the culmination of such a wonderful project. It is a great thrill to be here today to launch Closer Than Breathing, 7 Tales by Meg Sutton and illustrated so beautifully by her partner Kane White. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tegan Gigante. I'm a poet and publisher and performer based in Central Victoria, and I'm also a very dear friend of Beck's, and I'm delighted to be here in this capacity to guide you through the proceedings today. We'll start by acknowledging that we do stand on very ancient sacred country, for many years cared for by the traditional custodians of the Judge. May we remember the land beneath our feet and our connection to it. So, this book has emerged from a harebrained project. The Harebrained Press project was dreamed up in 2016. Beck Sutton decided to eschew mainstream avenues and publish her own collection of short stories. These stories, or tales as she's called them, in acknowledgement of her literary influences, had been developed over 10 years. They explore personal encounters with spirit in a spiritually bereft world. Conscious that her work defied conventional genres and wishing to realise it in a medium that aligned with its essence, Beck resolved an extreme alternative to desktop publishing. She would employ techniques in use before the computer age to create a 120-copy limited edition. Beck self-funded what may be the first book of its kind in Australia, a 136-page work of fiction that had been typeset, printed and bound exclusively by the writer. Acknowledging the radical and, she says, somewhat foolish nature of her undertaking, Beck dubbed it the Harebrained Press project. Beck spent a year planning, learning and printing at the Melbourne Museum of Printing before relocating to HipCat Printery, an artist access studio just outside of Trentham. Here, her routine involved spending, on average, 20 hours each fortnight setting type by hand before travelling the 260 kilometres to and from HipCat over 2 days. She would print 160 copies of 8 pages and then distribute the type, ready to set again. In August 2018, after months of driving through frosty mornings and nights, Beck decided to put printing on hold until she could buy her own press and work from home. It wasn't until May of 2019 that she found an affordable press large enough to complete her project. After restoring and modifying it, she completed the final 32 pages of her book in February of 2020. As Beck began the final stage of her project, bookbinding, COVID struck. This made attending classes impossible. She was forced to rely on a combination of book learning, YouTube videos, email queries, and experimentation to build the knowledge and skills she would need to bind 120 books. Throughout the project, Beck's partner, artist Kane White, was there to support her and contribute to the project. Kane designed and engraved all the images, as well as helping with troubleshooting, calibrating, and lifting printing presses. Finally, almost 7 years on, Beck is now launching Closer Than Breathing, 7 Tales. Yay! And you know, as an artist and a writer, there's many hours spent alone in the studio, just head down, focused on the work. And it's really special to see so many of Beck's supporters and friends and family here today to acknowledge those long years of work. We'll just take a moment to do a bit of housekeeping. Let's all turn off our mobile phones. Toilets are just out this door and to the left. You'll notice Grant around taking photos and video. So just don't hesitate to reach out if you would rather not be recorded on those devices. Okay, I've got a little bit to say too. I am beyond honoured to be here today in this capacity. As many of you know, today is the culmination of a long, one might say, heroic journey. 10 years in the writing, 7 in its printing and binding. Uncountable hours of human hands creating something extraordinary from nothing. This book is a testament not only to craft in its purest sense, but to the incredible strength and vision of its maker. Of course, makers plural. Kane has brought his wonderful images and printing skills and heavy lifting and moral support. But yeah, mostly Beck. It is the result of many careful material choices. Papers, thread, ink, leather, cloth, and many design decisions. Font, layout, colours, prints, to name a few. And these all culminate in an aesthetic that unifies the materials and design and marries them to their subject. Reading, one feels that the book is a physical emanation of the spirit of the writing it not only contains, but reveals. It is readily apparent that this is a thing of beauty. If you haven't had a close look yet, you have a joy awaiting you. This is a thing of beauty, as Keats intended the phrase, and we might be dazzled into forgetting its purpose, to share with us the imagination of its creator, given form in words and shaped as story. Shifting our gaze below the surface, we meet a constellation of worlds that are realised in marvellous detail. The living world sparkles in these stories. Trees, tools, and people all seem to shine as if lit from within. And this is precisely what their author has achieved. The numinous is not drawn in opposition to the material. Rather, they show us a world of things animated with soul. The care and craft that birthed this physical book reveals its metaphysic. That spirit dwells in the living world around us. Or rather, as these stories came before the book, that the world lives by virtue of the spirit that brings it forth. Things, when made with this in mind, made well, with a purpose of wholeness and integrity, can be clear windows to glimpse something beyond them. The dedication to this book is in part to our mutual teacher, Roger Sauter, who advocated so passionately for a traditional philosophy of work, who introduced us both to that truth. He would be so proud of you, Beck, and this book. These stories remind us that our lives emerge from encounter. Each story offers us characters in complex relationships with the embodied world, to its plants and creatures, to a garden or a willow tree, in such a way as to reveal our modern relationship to matter as utterly gross, as obscuring the beauty and mystery of things. As a small publisher, I play at the edges of an industry dominated by commercial imperatives, questionable production ethics, and an ever-shrinking attention span. Other arts and much of life faces these dire threats. And here we are, graced by an encounter with the numinous and real in a fine physical form, art with integrity, made by a true artist. Every material used in its making, every stitch and letter sewn and placed with care by a fine human being. It's been an absolute privilege to cheer Beck on from the sidelines throughout this astonishing process. The reserves of patience, perseverance, and commitment to master a challenging craft that she has shown is both humbling and inspiring. I am filled with wonder and gratitude for you, Beck. You are a gift to us all. Anyone who has met her has been graced by the kind, intelligent spirit that shines from you, as it shines from these stories and this book. It is a medicine, or a bowl of delicious, nourishing soup. You will find among its pages characters drawn with an echoing pathos, as human beings understood with clarity and compassion. They will linger with you. The ordinary is transfigured by the richness of symbol, animated with soul and portrayed with heart. Not only the narratives and their subjects, but objects and landscapes resonate with meaning and significance, agents in the stories. The words themselves are lyrical yet economic. Each one is necessary to its story. The awareness that each letter was placed by hand reflects how deliberately they were chosen. There are stunning poetic images and phrases. Its prose sings, and yet there is a sturdy practicality, an intimacy with the nuts and bolts of the things she describes. Nothing is vague, everything clear and discreet, drawn with knowledge of her subjects. This book will outlive you. Their stories will stay with you a long time. They are made for slow contemplation, an antidote to the fast consumption that the overculture pushes. To encounter this book is to touch a longer strand of time, a testament to something enduring that we, as fair creatures of an hour, to slip in a second line of Keats, must find to steady ourselves against the tide. This book is such an anchor and a joy besides, and I know each of you who spend time with it will agree. Congratulations, Beck.